This is the Domain Magnet Show, where you'll learn everything you need to know about buying, optimizing, and selling online businesses with your host, Michael Beroslavsky.
Hello, dear listener. Welcome to a special episode of the Domain Magnet Show. This episode is called Ask Michael 1. Today I'm going to answer some of the questions that I often receive from buyers, sellers, and different clients. If you have a question that you want to get answered, you can just send it to me directly by emailing michael@domainmagnate.com, or you can send it to me through Facebook at facebook.com/domainmagnate. Today we have 6 questions that I'm going to answer that are some of the most common questions that we receive. And the first one is, why would anyone sell a profitable business? Why would anyone sell a profitable business? Why do people sell offline businesses? Why do people sell anything? The reasons are pretty similar. Often people need cash to pay some loans, to pay taxes, to buy a house, to get married, or anything else. Also, they might be afraid of the risk. Any online business is associated with a substantial amount of risk. So if it's a content website, there is a risk of Google updates. You might be getting a lot of traffic now, but if the Google algorithm decides that your website is not worthy, you might lose 80% of your traffic in one day. There are also many risks coming from the competitors, from advertisers, and there are other risks associated with managing a business and operation maintenance. They also often want to go and do something new. Entrepreneurs often follow that kind of cycle. They have a new idea, they're excited, they go and build it out, and then at some point that enthusiasm just starts to drop down, and then they know it's time for them to go sell and go start a new project. And they might feel bored, they might spend less time and less effort into the business, and they know that if they leave it like that, it's probably going to start dropping. So it's better to sell and get some good paycheck that they can use for the next project, rather than just keep it and see it see the revenue continue to drop. They also sell because they have no time to manage it. Maybe they have a new job, a promotion, getting married, or having children, family. Lack of time to maintain a business is a very common reason to sell a business. There are also many other reasons, and usually it's a combination of several factors. There are also people that sell just because they plan to sell. They build a business and they expect that at some point we are going to sell it, maybe a year from that moment. So why would anyone sell a profitable business? There is a combination of factors: cash, risks, and the desire to go move on to the new project. And next question, how to find a good operator, a good website manager. How to find a good operator or website manager? There are 2 things you should consider, mostly. A verifiable track record of past successes and well-aligned incentives. So a verifiable track record would mean that that person has recently worked on some similar projects, that they've successfully managed and grown and improved and increased similar websites. And that should be something recent. If someone shows you a website they've been able to rank well in Google 12 years ago, the same methods are probably not going to work now. And also it has to be something quite similar. If they've managed an e-commerce business and you want them to manage a software business, those skills might not translate that well. Also, it has to be a reasonably similar size. So if they've managed a small personal blog making $100 per month, that might not necessarily qualify them to go and manage a $10,000 per month business. So a verifiable track record, and the incentives should be properly aligned. Many times I've seen operators improperly incentivized through suboptimal contracts. Then business owners try to save some money on it and pay hourly or pay based on the project, and then the operator's incentive is just to work more hours or just to go and do the project as fast as possible. So it's important to align the incentives in such a way that the operator makes money when the business makes money, and then the owner makes money. And at Domain Magnate, our buy and manage service is designed in such a way that we as operators make money, then the owner makes money. So we take a percentage of the business profits. And so these are the two important criteria: a verifiable track record and well-aligned incentives. Now, the third question: how do I find a good deal? How do I find a good deal for an online business to buy? It really depends on what's a good deal for you, because a good deal for me is probably not what's going to be a good deal for you. So first you have to figure that out. First ask yourself, what is my budget? How much money are you really looking to spend? And it could be a budget range as well. When ask yourself, what are your skills? What are your expertise? What are you good at? What you just don't know much about? Maybe you are not a very technical person, so you probably shouldn't go and look into software-related sites or SaaS businesses. Maybe you are pretty good at content, at SEO, then you probably would want to go and look into content businesses. Then ask yourself, how much time do you have? How much time are you able to spend on this business to manage it, to operate it? Maybe you have quite a lot of time, then you can go and buy a business that requires quite a lot of maintenance, because you'll probably get a better deal on that. If you don't have much time, then that's probably not a good idea. Then you would want to buy a business that's more passive in nature. Or you can also go and look for an operator to help you manage the business. Maybe you have an established business in your industry. The best deal for you would be to go and buy a competitor, or buy a business that could help you in some way through some vertical or horizontal integration. So it's really quite subjective. And once you've figured out all these different criteria, budget range, type of business, expectations of maintenance, operation, also you can consider different risk parameters. So you might be very risk averse, and so you want to go and buy a business that's very, very stable, that's been around for many years, and it's very easy to maintain, and it has very low risks. Or you might be open to taking much higher risks, so you would want to go and buy a very new business that you can buy much cheaper, and that probably has very high risk but also very high reward. So that's really entirely up to you. And then once you've identified that, once you have a pretty good idea of what you're looking for, the next question is, where do you find the right deal? And there are of course many places where you can look. You can look at marketplaces, you can check the broker listings, but the best deals are usually only available privately. So if you want to find a really good deal, you should either go and contact some businesses directly. Especially if it's in your industry, if it's a competitor, just contact them directly and see if they want to sell. Or you can work with a company like ours who source deals for people and find and negotiate and make deals for them. So that's something they do for clients as well. So how do you find a good deal? First of all, figure out what a good deal for you is, and then the next step would be to decide where to look for it. The next question, number 4, how much is my website worth? How much is my website worth? That's a very common question. And I have people asking that all the time. So first of all, it depends on a lot of different factors. The main one, of course, is profit, revenue and profit. Typically, websites are valued as a multiple of profit that they generate, websites and online businesses. But there can be quite a wide variance in those multiples. So we've acquired websites from anywhere, from just several months worth of profits for websites that were very, very new. I think the lowest we've paid was like 2 or 3 months worth of profit for a website that was just like 1 month old, because it was an interesting idea just to kind of try that. It was quite unique. And the highest that we've sold businesses for, that we've paid, was when we sold businesses to end users, to bigger companies that wanted to buy it as a competitor, and we've got multiples of more than 10 years worth of profits. So it's really wide range. In terms of current market averages, I would say it's somewhere around 2 and 3 years of revenue, between 2 and 3 years of revenue or profit, if it's for content businesses. But it really varies based on a lot of criteria. The main parameter, of course, is risk, and the way risk is calculated is a combination of the website age, the diversity of traffic, traffic sources and revenue sources, and then specifically if it's organic traffic, then understanding the backlink profile, the content quality, the competitors, also projecting and understanding the required expenses to manage it. So there are really a lot of different factors. How can you quickly find out? Just go to domainmagnate.com/sell, domainmagnate.com/sell, and submit your website for review. We'll review it quickly, and we'll usually contact you the same day. And if it fits our criteria, we'll be able to present you with an offer for immediate purchase. And if it doesn't fit our criteria, we'll just give you some free advice on how to sell it better, where to go, and what kind of price you can expect. Question number 5. What was your fastest deal? What was my fastest deal? I think the quickest deal I had was about 15 minutes. That was many years ago. We were chatting with someone I knew for a while through Messenger. I think it was ICQ or AAM. So you can see it was a really long time ago, because nowadays no one uses those. And we were chatting about that, and I showed him one of my sites, and he was immediately interested. And he asked me, well, how much is it making? So I sent him some numbers, and then he asked, well, how much would you sell it for? And I wasn't expecting to sell it, so I was thinking about it for a few minutes. And then I told him I would take $20,000. And he said, okay, send me your wire transfer details. And that was that. That was the deal. That took about 15 minutes total. We had a pre-existing relationship, so we've never met offline, but we've been chatting online for quite a long time until that moment. So we knew each other. So he did not really ask to see the details, to see Google Analytics, to see the traffic and revenue screenshots. He just trusted me on that. And that's it. I mailed him the wire transfer details, he sent the payment, and I transferred the website. And that was the deal. But the whole negotiation took about 15 minutes. And then like 2 or 3 days to receive the wire transfer, and then like 1 day to transfer a website. And finally, question number 6. What type of business should I buy? What type of business should I buy? Now that's a question they get often from first-time buyers, and it's a good question to ask, because one of the biggest mistakes that first-time buyers make is that they just go and as soon as they learn about this opportunity to go and buy an established profitable online business, they just go and start looking at different deals immediately, and they have no idea what to look for, how. They just start looking at deals. And then as soon as we see a few, we develop a feel for what seems good, what doesn't, and then they just go and buy one. And that often doesn't work out very well. So a better way to deal with that is really ask yourself this question first: what type of business should I buy? And that is going to depend on your skills, your expertise, your budget range, and also your expectations. So depending on the budget range, actually a different type of business is more common. So if your budget is reasonably low, like just below $10,000, you would mostly be looking at content websites or different content blogs. If your budget is higher, like up to $100,000, you would still be looking a lot at content type websites, but you can also consider some SaaS businesses and potentially some small e-commerce websites. And if your budget is higher in the six figures, there would often be more e-commerce businesses in the market and quite a few content sites as well. But once you go bigger into the seven figures and higher, it's gonna be more different types of businesses. You'd have a lot more e-commerce, you'd have services type businesses, you'd have software businesses and different agencies. So once you know your budget range, that would give you some initial idea. But then you should also ask yourself the same things you asked when then figuring out what's a good deal for you. So the same questions apply. Then you're asking yourself what type of business to buy, how much time do you have, what are your skills, what are the things you are good at, what kind of advantages do you have in the market. So maybe you have an existing online business, then it's always better to buy something that can drive more traffic, more leads, more clients to your existing business, because then you can just immediately monetize it better. Also, it really depends on your objectives. So maybe you are just looking to try things, to buy your first online business and use something like play money just to try it out and learn. Then it might not matter as much, and then if you can just get a small budget and go buy some blog to see how it works, because at their core all online businesses are pretty similar. You have to figure out how to get traffic, how to maintain it, how to operate it, and then how to monetize it. Then also, if you are looking for something that's potentially going to be a very long-term enterprise, something that could help you generate substantial revenue, or maybe something that would help you quit your job, you can look for a longer term project. So you can look for a service-based business, for example, something that you can get into. And it really depends on your expectations. So the best way to approach this type of questions is by first kind of figuring out your budget range, your time, your skills, your expertise, your expectations, and also probably research more and talk to some experts. Additionally, you should ask yourself how you're going to operate it. Now, if you're going to work with an operator, with a website manager like us, it would be best to go with whatever that operator suggests you, because operators are usually very good at one or two types of businesses. So like we are really good at content businesses. So we are not going to go and buy an e-commerce website for a client because we would just tell them like that's not what we do, that's not where our expertise are. So if you are going to work with an operator, it's best to buy the type of business that they are good at. And if you are going to be doing it alone as well, it's best to buy the type of business that you think you'll be good at. And finally, the last piece of advice that I usually give the first-time buyers is start small. Go and buy a small business first, a small website, and see how it works. And once you've been able to grow it and improve it and operate it successfully, you'll feel more comfortable and more confident to go and invest in a bigger business. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening. And if you are looking to buy a business, go to domainmagnate.com/buyers to subscribe to our buyers newsletter. And you can also go to domainmagnate.com/investors to learn about our opportunities for passive investments. Thank you, and see you in the next episode of the Domain Magnate Show.
Domain Magnate is a leader in buying and selling online businesses with a proven track record of expertise gained from over 300 deals since 2004. To learn more about how we can help you acquire or exit a profitable online business today, head over to domainmagnate.com for more details.